Welcome to my channel. So I got a question for you. Do you want to improve your artistic ability? At the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of the principle of unity. Thank you for stopping by my video. My name is Thayne. I'm a filmmaker, artist, photographer, and educator. Please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and share this with those who you feel would benefit from this video. So what is unity, or also known as harmony? It is the agreement between the parts, the relationship between the elements within the work. In this video, I'm going to mention a couple of terms. One is achromatic, which means the absence of color. Here's an example. Also, I'm going to mention value. Value is the lightness and darkness of an area. So for an example, this right here, this value is white. And on the extreme end, this value is black. So let's take a look at some examples. Let's review this first example of unity. For starters, all these shapes are rectangles. They are varying size, but they're still the same geometric shape, more or less. Also, they share that they are all achromatic, meaning that they don't have any color. They're all grayscale. Another thing is, look at the proximity between each of these shapes. They're very close. Several are overlapping. So they kind of all unify in these different ways. Lack color, the proximity to each other, very, very close and tight. They're all the same type of geometric shape. So all of these things unify. Now, for the second example, this is very similar to the first one. Here we have circles. They share the same shape. They are also achromatic. We have something a little bit different. We have this perceived perspective. They seem like they're probably sitting on some sort of floor and going into the distance, but they're all grouped again by proximity. Most of them are overlapping. Very similar to the other two in the sense that the shapes are all close together. Now, all of them are of geometric shape, so they share that commonality. They are all achromatic. Also, what's interesting is that there is a negative shape. If you look right in the middle, looks like there's a rectangle in there as well. So we have positive shapes, which are the triangles and the rectangles that are gray. And then we also have a negative shape, which is, in this case, white. Also, what they share is it seems like they're possibly on a grid system, right? One, we can see the different components, but also it does have a feeling like it's one piece, like it's one shape. There's a German word called Gestalt, the organized whole that is perceived as more than the sum of its parts. So far, how do you feel about the principle of unity? Please let me know in the comments below. In this example, we see this overall image. In fact, some might see a secondary image in there as well. But we see this whole image made up of smaller parts, circles, and then we have hexagons. And the hexagons are pretty close to the circle in shape and size, slightly different. They also share the achromatic scheme. They are also on a grid system, so they're all aligned in which they are unified. Overall, we see a rectangle made up of these shapes, but we also see that there is either like a sword or a cross on its side created by the hexagons. So we can see multiple interpretations of this image. Now let's review this example. They share the similar shape. They're all squares. They are also achromatic. Again, the proximity, close. And we can see this as an image of perspective. We have these smaller images that are in the distance and the larger ones up close, or maybe they're just all on the same plane. This is also on a grid system. A little bit more chaotic, but still on a grid system. In fact, there are lines that the squares on the left lean towards a point on the right, and the squares on the right lean towards a point on the left. And here is our last example. This one is a lot more complex, and in fact, you're probably getting a feel of the whole. This composition is made up of geometric shapes. But what does this look like to you? The very thin rectangles that are close together almost look like a body of text. There is, within that area, there's one that has a square in it. That could almost be like a drop cap, meaning like a large letter that begins an article. And that lighter rectangle next to this, let's say, body of text could be a photo. So this starts to look like a magazine layout. On the left-hand side, we have the copy, the name of the article. Looks like there's possibly a page number and some other information. And then on the right-hand side, that could easily be an ad. Looks like there might be some copy down in the bottom left corner. And maybe there's a large image in the background, possibly. Something up in the corners, maybe some text off to the right-hand side. But really what this is several rectangles, different sizes, different values, but it gives a completely different feeling. Again, it looks like a spread on a magazine. I have a question for you. How useful was this video for you? If you liked or disliked this video, will you click on the thumb icon below? Also subscribe and hit the bell for notifications of new videos. Please follow me on social media. I mostly go by @Thayne Wheeler on most platforms. You can also follow me on Facebook @Thayne.edu. If you're interested in my photography, you can follow it on Instagram or on Facebook @Thayne Photography. To learn about the other principles of design, please check out my other videos. Thanks again for following.